Hello, Mr. 006. We're back for part 24 of I Want to Get Cultured 2. It's been a long time since I've been able to announce the numbered part of this Let's Play, but yeah, for all my that was the boss rush in stage 6 that I thought might screw me up on that one. But for all my planning, for all my sort of careful thinking about, am I going to be able to get particularly stage 6? Am I going to be able to get one area in a video, or can I possibly get 2 or 3? It just worked out absolutely perfectly that I could get pretty much 2 per video, and yeah, that would have been my aim at the beginning, but yeah, wasn't necessarily expecting it to happen. Yeah, Sod's Law, he absolutely did. I also managed to get to the final boss in the last part of the last video as well. So yeah, I was trying to be really careful there and just think, I'm not going to necessarily just do two areas per video, so I won't announce any numbered parts to the Let's Play. But well, it just so happened to work out pretty perfectly time-wise. I've also just quickly muted the video for muted this at the moment just to say something up front, because I was slightly worried, as I mentioned at the end of the last part. But yeah, I want to say up front again, and I'll probably apologise 100 times if this does happen, or I'll try and maybe make it 100 times, but probably will be the way it goes. But yeah, I am slightly concerned about potential slowdown on this final boss. Like with the Hidao area, which you clearly saw was, I don't want to say trivialised by the slowdown, but made considerably easier. But that also, you do get a little bit of slowdown, or I do anyway, when I'm playing that game, without recording. And that's also true of the final boss. So some of the sort of the messages that pop up at the end is supposed to be timed, like with the music. So I'm assuming it sort of transitions at the end of the music, where it sort of goes. I mean, you'll see it, but the screen sort of goes grey, and there's a transition to something else. Yeah, I'm hoping that sort of still lines up, but yeah, I am considerably worried about what slowdown might do to this boss. If it happens, then yeah, I hope it doesn't trivialise this final boss. But yeah, I can only apologise if that does happen. But anyway, that's enough of by way of introduction. Let's get into the boss. So this boss is split into 5 phases. I guess the 5th phase is a bit of a separate, it's sort of separate thing. I'm already noticing, I think, a little bit of lag and slowdown here, which is probably going to make things easier. So yeah, wonderful. But yeah, it's split into 5 phases. I would say the 5th phase is sort of different from the other 4. The first 4 are, well, the thing is set up very much like I Want to Get Cultured. Yeah, as you can sort of see here, that the music's now kind of gone. We get this kind of Skype message saying, in this case, Cephalus calling. So clearly, we are getting slowed down in that part of the boss, which is not good. Wow, really? What a mess up that was. But yeah, from based on that, I could already tell. I think that was a little bit behind where it's been previously. Although this feels a bit more sped up for some reason. That attempt, the spike ball there just seemed to be a lot quicker. But anyway, yeah, split into various phases. It works very much like I Want to Get Cultured in the sense that we've got save points, and as you saw there, we also get sort of a transition from fighting a boss, or probably just avoidance in a boss, frankly, rather than fighting. I'm not actually attacking Demon Lord Biff over there. But yeah, we get to after a certain point in time, say with the Skype call because it's coming up. We get transitioned to a bit of platforming that we have to pull off, which is say very much like the original I Want to Get Cultured. So the first phase is sort of a fire wave spike ball phase. It's pretty straightforward actually. I mean, it's made more straightforward by the slowdown. But yeah, once we actually get through that, we then get sent to an area. Which is that is just awful. Actually, well, I've managed to survive that. It wasn't very good at all. So yeah, we get transitioned to these platform stages, and as far as I can tell, for example, this screen here, I think, is actually a screen from I Want to Be the 8-bit, which is a game made by Cephalus. So as far as I can tell, these screens, the transition screens that we get, wow, that is slow. Oh boy, this is going to be. Just so much easier than it otherwise would be. It's going to be ridiculous. My apologies will come now and also at the end. But yeah, this is more or less going to. Well, I mean, if I'm still going to be clumsy like that, then yeah, it's going to be still going to have a hell of a time. But oh boy, this is going to be considerably easier than it otherwise would have been. Fantastic. Not how I want to clear the game at all, but very little I can do about it. But anyway, yeah. So I might as well go back to this first phase now. So yeah, we have a whole bunch of wow, really? He shoots out these fire shots or whatever, spread shot pattern. We get some fire coming down from the ceiling. We also have to say this spike ball that we have to avoid, and a sort of like a wave coming on the ground, fire wave coming on the ground. I don't want to say it's anything quite like the, for instance, the Solgren attack from I Want to Be a Boshi. It's not quite like that really, but you can probably see somewhat of the similarities. After a certain point in time, a number of bounces, the spike ball actually explodes and sends out the smaller spikes. Which obviously have to avoid, and then just hopefully it's a case of not being clumsy on the final phase. Really, just finding the gaps in the fire that are getting sent out, and just being careful. There's nothing really too difficult about this first phase, running at full speed or otherwise. But yeah, these platforming sections tend to be ones that are kind of just like, I don't know, they're kind of like, wow, really. Kind of get, as I'm clearly doing because I'm messing up on them horribly. I kind of feel like I'm kind of nervous on them because I don't know why really, because they're not in and of themselves that difficult, but so you kind of get through a phase of this boss and you kind of well, not panic per se, but just get into a point where you get a little kind of flustered and just kind of don't take things, just try and do too much or try and rush too much. There is a timer. I am doing an absolutely appalling job, and that includes with the slowdown happening here, which is just absolutely awful on my part. But you do have a timer. That's probably. Oh, I just managed to survive. Just managed to avoid that. That was help. That was very good. So yeah, you do have a timer on the platforming section. So I don't think that was there in the. It's been ages since I played I Want to Get Cultured. I don't think you had a timer. On those sections, I think it was pretty much just get through the screen. I might be completely misremembering that. I'm not sure, but we do have a. If I've survived this, hopefully we'll see it in just a minute. But there is a timer up at the top of the screen that's slowly going down. So you do have to make it to the exit or indeed the icon at the end there before that timer runs out. Otherwise, I think it's a death. And I just cannot do the platforming sections at all at the moment, and that screen is not difficult at all. I've cleared that screen so many times during previous versions of fighting this boss. Also in beating I Want to Be the 8-bit. I'm pretty sure that's what that screen is actually from. Yes, there are. Yes, you have to watch out for the spikes alternating and time things out well, and I'm sort of relieved to see that I'm not getting too much or indeed really any that I can noticeably tell. Is that still that's a spike shard there that I need to be careful of. I nearly jumped into that. But I'm not detecting lag or slowdown for this, which is helpful because certainly if I'm doing timed things, and that would be a hell of an annoyance. But you can don't really know what to say. Just get to the icon before the time runs out, and on this section just be the spikes are in a clear pattern. It's clearly timed as to when they're going to alternate. So that screen really isn't so bad. I can't believe given how slow this section actually is. You'll probably see the amount of time at the end where. Compare it to like where the Cephalos message came up on screen. Oh my god! Wow! There's so much slowdown there. That should be so easy to avoid those fireballs. Wow! I can't believe I'm screwing up so horribly. Oh, this final boss is going to be a nightmare if I'm doing that badly on like the first phase. We're dubbing the first phase here. There is a save point, if you will, after you clear two sections with Biff and two platforming sections. So if I can get through the second obviously one here and the second platforming section, then yay, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this ever again. We'll start at the beginning of phase 2. But man, what the hell am I doing? Not going well at all. Obviously, I could take this a little bit slower here and just time out the spikes differently. But I actually quite like this kind of rushing kind of way, the way that I'm doing this, going through this. It's probably the way I typically do it anyway. The timing actually seems to work out really nicely. But I do have actually a lot of time at the end there after having collected the icon just to wait around. Well, maybe not a lot of time, but certainly sufficient time that I could take that slower if I wished. Right. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, when we get to the end of this, you'll probably notice, appreciate that there is actually a lot of time at the end. I did miss that thing. A lot of the time at the end between the music going away and the next Skype call message coming up. Gonna die here, I think. Maybe not. The thing that this slowdown does make really, really difficult is knowing ultimately where the end of the phase is. And there's a fireball there that I just completely didn't see whatsoever. Oh my goodness! Seriously, I would have actually expected by now to have possibly even completed this this first phase with like running at normal speed. By now, this first phase is, I'd say, easily the easiest of the lot. Doesn't tend to give me that much trouble, but I don't want to even suggest for a minute that the lag or the slowdown is actually hindering me, because I actually can't really believe that, frankly. But wow, I'm just doing a terrible job in particular on the fireball, the second one. I've been talking about fireballs and fire waves on the first phase, but yeah, the second bit of Biff just going absolutely horribly at the moment. I'd say this is probably one of the easiest platforming bits as well, frankly. I mean, which makes sense. It's, again, not having like the most difficult or the hardest ones at the beginning, sort of the scaling of difficulty. Although when we get there, I'm going to say up front now, absolutely, that I honestly believe the second phase, so that will be the third and fourth, fights of avoidance bits with Demon Lord Biff and the platforming bit. I actually believe that is the most difficult part of the entire final boss. So not the perhaps the fifth and final phase, which is something completely different anyway, or the fourth bit of this kind of main phase. But I would say no. I actually think it is the second section. Yeah, I mean the slowdown here is just ridiculous. Look at how late the music's finished and the Skype message. Yeah, look at the Skype message hadn't even appeared until now. That was felt frankly ridiculous. But anyway, Cephalos is our first. I think I'm actually going to shoot that. Okay, we're done anyway. Let's hope I can pull this off. So, which isn't a gimme, and I've been really slow at the beginning there. Wow! Oh my God! Everything is going absolutely horribly. Wow! I haven't actually. Oh yeah, that platforming section there, I don't actually recognise, and that's probably been the case for most of them. I'm assuming that's obviously a game from, or a screen from a game that Clayson made. But I don't immediately recognise it. I don't want to say it's. I want to restore the balance or whatever. Which is oh my God, no, I've managed to survive that. It probably isn't, but that's the only one that springs to mind. It's actually Clayson's entry into the. I think it was anyway. And got joint first place as well. Wow, this is absolutely atrocious. Anyway, back to my train of thought. Yeah, that was restore the balance was Clayson's entry. I think it was at least anyway. Joint won Yo Sniper's first fan game contest. So that's the only one of his games that sort of springs to mind at the moment. I'm sure he's made a load of other ones, and it's definitely not from. Well, I say definitely not. Who knows? It actually could be. I don't think it is from. The entry to his entry to the second Yo Sniper's second fan game contest, but I can't even actually remember the name of the thing. I think it was maybe it was Draw My Guy, maybe. I don't think it was from that, but again, I could be wrong, or indeed it may be from a game that I haven't even a game of this that I haven't even played. But we're not seeing a lot of it at the moment because I am just doing absolutely appallingly everywhere, literally everywhere. Right, and yeah, I'll point it out again. I'm sure you will have noticed the difference between the time difference between when Cephalos's Skype thing came up, or sorry, when the music stopped and Cephalos's Skype message came up, as opposed to Clayson's. There was just so much more time where the music wasn't there for Clayson's than it was Cephalos. Which is, yeah, just ridiculous level of slowdown. So I know it slows down usually a little bit when just playing without even recording, or say it does for me, but this is feels like it's bordering on ridiculous, frankly. Right, is there any more to shoot? I think that's fine. I'm not going to bother shooting any more if they appear. That should be more than enough time. Yeah, for that bit to go away. Again, I'm too slow here at the beginning here. I've meant, oh my god, I thought I messed that up. Okay, good. We're done with the first phase. I don't know how long the introduction was, 2 minutes or so. So I want to say that was about 13 or 14 minutes to do it, and that was pretty bad, frankly. Anyway, now we come to phase 2, and yeah, the most difficult phase of the bunch, I think. And probably, if there's going to be any one, what am I doing? I need to get back into the swing of this and remember how this works. If there's any one that I'm going to actually probably going to need to cut because it takes too long, it'll be this one. I feel like once I get into back into a rhythm with this one, this might not be so bad. Although, frankly, the shrapnel and the lava and these slashes, just the screen that gave me the most trouble in actually getting to this final boss easily. But yeah, sometimes the shrapnel here just goes in absolutely horrible positions in conjunction with these slashes to the point where I feel like there is literally nowhere for me to go. So yeah, that can be a right raw pain. Oh my god, the timing on this is going to absolutely suck with slowdown. Anyway, yeah, avoid the slashes, avoid the lava, avoid the rock that keeps coming down to the floor and releasing shrapnel. And yeah, well, that brings us to yeah, probably actually the platforming section, the single most difficult platforming section for me. So it's probably actually, say, this one from Biff and the next phase. So we'll see the second one of this phase, which actually gives me the most trouble. And I say that's also true for the platforming section. I absolutely just seem to have a nightmare every time. I mean, there's only one death. It's obviously the first time I got to it, but yeah, if there is one platforming section I seem to do absolutely terribly on. Oh no, yeah, too slow there. If there is one section of the platforming I do terrible on, it's that third one. I just, for whatever reason, just seem to have a nightmare on it. The fourth one, thankfully, the platforming section, is actually pretty straightforward. Famous last words, but yeah, here's hoping that when I get to that won't cause me too many problems, because I do believe that that's too soon. The slowdown and the lag is just going to make that final bit there, where of course I'm having to jump and find the gaps or find the big gap in where the slashes are coming across. Really, really freaking annoying. And I haven't quite got settled into a pattern here with these laser grit or slashes or whatever. Obviously, you want to try and stay away from the rock that keeps pummeling down to the floor, but easier said than done. And yeah, stuff like that, for example. I mean, I'm not saying I did a masterful job there by any stretch of the imagination, but sometimes the shrapnel just feels like it's in the worst possible place at the worst possible time and leaves me with nowhere to go. I cannot believe I survived that. That was insanely lucky. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's just three of those actually. I thought it was more of those, but okay, just three of those that come across horizontally. And yeah, the rock sweeps to the left-hand side as well, by the way, so watch out for that. And yeah, this is a Gay Wizard's section as well, so we've had Cephalos and Clayson, and now we've got Gay Wizard, so oh, I want to go to there, don't I? And I messed up the gate jump. I mean, I'm probably I'm not liable to mess up on gate jumps, but I actually think I got past probably the bit that I tend to muck up on the most on that platforming section. But as I say, that's still not to say that that's still not to say that the end bit of that is difficult, because there are I'm never gonna I am gonna survive that. Okay, I feel very lucky there, but I messed up the timing on that one. Fantastic. And I just walked so far to the right there into one of the slashes. That was also just stupid beyond belief. Oh, this is going to be a train wreck of the final boss for a multitude of reasons, not least the fact that I feel like I'm playing. As I said, I do believe this is the hardest phase, but I generally feel like this one is actually going to take the longest to do. But just a combination, well, yeah, of everything at the moment. What seems to me like crummy gameplay as well as slowdown means this final boss is just going to be pretty terrible, unfortunately. Oh god, what am I doing there? Right, hopefully if the rock's shrapnel here pattern here doesn't screw me over, we'll at least get another go at Gay Wizard's platforming section. I don't recognise the screen this is from, by the way, so yeah. Yep, and if you mess up that, I'm not quite sure. There's an area on the ground there between those two spikes that might be like a 16 pixel gap or something that you could land on. I don't know. It doesn't quite look like it. Maybe you can, but if you mess up that jump, which is a little bit like an F jump, maybe it is exactly an F jump, I don't know, then yeah, I don't think you can. I'm not sure, unless you could say land on that tiny gap between the two spikes. You've actually, yeah, you've messed up to the point where you actually can't survive. So yeah, that's annoying. You've got like again, under time pressure. Oh wow, I survived that. Yeah, under time pressure, you've got what I think is an F jump, at least anyway. And as a one-shot deal, that if you mess up, then you're screwed. So yay. Don't like F jumps at the best of times, but knowing that yeah, knowing that if I do mess up on it, I'm pretty much screwed. Not good. Yeah, I don't fancy trying to land in that gap between the two spikes, if you could even do it at all anyway. So yeah, if I mess up that jump, I think I'm pretty much done. And that's something I'll also do. That looked absolutely clumsy, and I completely agree. But that is something that I tend to do a lot of the time as well. I'm so conscious of the spot of not jumping into the spike. That's probably going to get me. Well, okay, I thought the lasers might get me, but it turned out to be the rock. I'm so conscious of not jumping too high to land on the, or sorry, to jump into the spike. Thank you, rock pattern. That was absolutely awful. Yes, yeah, there's so much going on. I can't speak. This commentary is absolutely awful as well. Let alone the gameplay and the slowdown. The commentary is absolutely pathetic as well. Yeah, the spike. I don't want to jump into it, so I just don't jump high enough to even reach the platform. Again, just something I do quite a lot for that section. Very, very annoying. Oh gods. I'm never usually actually on the right-hand side of this block, and yeah, it does actually go in the direction that you are. I'm not sure, I don't want to say ever, but I very, very rarely end up on the right-hand side of that rock, so I wasn't actually, just from memory, couldn't remember whether it would actually just still go to the left or not. Right, let's wait here for this to go. And we've still got one awkward jump to pull off. That one there, but we're done. Okay, well at least with that anyway. So now we have probably what I would dub maybe one of the single most difficult Biff sections in this fight. Although again, it might be made considerably easier by the fact that again with the slowdown, because this is kind of nasty. Because yeah, you basically have it's the spring one from you bounce obviously from floor to ceiling, and a lot of the time, I'm going to say in the middle here just to give myself time to react. Good. Oh no, there's one more. Is there another one? No. Okay. Yeah, that was made considerably easier with the slowdown because I was caddy couldn't use section here. The projectiles there, or the orbs, or the spheres, or whatever. I tend to find that they just spawn in at the worst possible times. I messed that up. Are you joking me? I double jumped before I hit the bloody thing. Before I hit the jump refresher, again, I'll go back to it. I reckon that one, that platforming section there is actually pretty straightforward. I don't really have any complaints or any problems with that one usually. Although I tend to die on it at least once or twice, again, just from a point of view of nervousness and thinking, okay, I've just beaten what I think is probably one of the most difficult bits. I've got past the platforming bit, the third platforming bit, and I've also now got past the fourth Demon Lord Biff bit, but So yeah, I'm not saying I never mess up on it, because yeah, I get so nervous to the point of view, like I think, oh my man, I've done this bit now, I've got to make the most of it. That's not good at all. Yep. So yeah, I'm liable to mess up on that, but I feel absolutely awful and terrible when I do, because yeah, honestly it's pretty straightforward, that platforming section. I'd say maybe other than the first one, I'd say that's probably one of the easiest of the lot, and I'm always absolutely gutted when I inevitably mess up on it, because it's really not that bad at all. But again, with the slowdown and everything, the fourth Demon Lord Biff bit, where you've got to where you've got to oh no, I thought I didn't make it. I thought I wasn't going to make it, so I held left. I continued to hold left, just to the point of view, like, and again, I don't think there's any point, because I don't think you could ever clear the spike on the floor, even if you just hold left. I don't think you can, at least anyway. So I held left, even though I think that's no good, and ran into the spike, having actually managed to pull off the jump. Fantastic. Awful. Absolutely awful. But anyway, the one where you're springing from the floor to the ceiling, yeah, the orb at full speed, the orbs there just feel absolutely awful. Yeah, I get screwed over so often. But again, with slowdown, it's easier to predict where they're coming in. I can react accordingly, kind of sort of set myself well by double jumping at an appropriate time. Just reset myself and hopefully not land on the orb or a spike. So yeah, I'm fairly optimistic, to be honest, when I clear the third platforming bit, Gabe was platforming bit, that it shouldn't take too long to do. But as I say, this bit is still running at full speed, and I still maintain that this is the most tricky. Oh, you can survive that. Okay, you can survive that if you hold left. All right. I still maintain that that's my most hated and most tricky for me platforming section of the entire bunch. I really, really just don't like that platforming bit. I hate it. Easily the most difficult bit, and ultimately it contributes to why running at full speed, or just normally, probably still may still being the case even with the slowdown, that one is, yeah, this is going to take the longest, and that's why this is the hardest phase of the entire fight for me. I really always have a huge problem with this phase. This bit here is not straightforward. You can see me messing up on this bit, Demon Lord Biff bit, with the rock and the lava and everything. Quite on a frequent basis. So I just can't quite get the hang of it. The platforming bit, the third platforming bit, is the most difficult one of the entire platforming sections. I genuinely believe that. And yeah, even when you get past, it's just so easy. Even when you get past that, both the third bits, it's so easy to mess up on the fourth bits. More so without the slowdown on the bouncing one from the ceiling and the floor. So yeah, the third phase, both this one and the third platforming one, are still, I'm dead. Double jumped just to avoid the lava, and the thing was right, and the gap in those slashes was right at the top, so I had absolutely no chance whatsoever. I knew about 2 seconds in advance of when those slashes were going to come in, that I had no chance whatsoever of clearing it. And I seem for some reason to keep backtracking to the right hand side an awful lot here under this bloody rock or whatever it is, which is just not good, because I'm going to catch myself under the rock. It's going to slam down. I shouldn't be anywhere near it. That's not going to help at all. I don't know why I keep doing it. Well, okay, so that would have been bad if the slash had been at the top there. Okay, I can't get under you, so we'll have to go over here. The randomness of the shrapnel and the rocks splitting apart just makes this again one of the more random based ones, and again for me one of the more difficult ones. Okay. You could also go over here. I'm not sure why you'd actually bother. I'll show that off once, but just in case I were to mess up and hit the spike, that would be absolutely awful. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. I actually don't know if this phase is somehow on a sort of, I don't want to say timer or based on the number of times you bounce from the ceiling to the floor as to when it concludes, or whether it's just actually literally time based, i.e. it goes on for, let's say, 20 seconds, although it's going to feel nothing like 20 seconds here. But yeah, after a certain point in time, the orbs go away. For this bit, by the way, I'm never quite sure how many spikes you're going to have to avoid there, but stay in the middle. You do move very quickly there, but stay in the middle. That will give you the best opportunity to avoid the pattern. If the gap is far over to the right-hand side and you're on the left-hand side, that's not going to be helpful. Mr. Block, I don't believe it. I literally don't believe it. That is, again, it's such an easy platforming section, that one. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. I'm just doing absolutely awfully. But it always seems to happen. Always seems to happen that I mess up absolutely horribly on that fourth platforming section. I don't know why. It's yeah. Well, what else can I say? I don't know why. It is other than just the feeling of nervousness, because I'm obviously feeling like if I can only pull it off, then I won't have to do. Well, I've got through the entirety of the second phase. I won't have to deal with this awkward Demon Lord bit here, and also the awkward platforming section here. But oh, good grief! There it is. Just I did hold left again. I didn't think I was going to make it. Held left. I actually made it and ran into the spike. I don't like this phase. I really don't. As I say again, there was no way that I was going to. There was pretty much no way that I was going to beat this, or the whole thing in one video. So I'd fully expected to have to just get this before I finish that train of thought. I fully expected to have to, well, not necessarily cut phases of this fight, but I fully expected that it would go across more than one video. So, yeah, who knows? I think we probably will end up cutting if I don't do this after I've got to about 40 minutes in the video. But I think whatever now, I'll probably just leave the first two phases as this part, and we'll pick it up again afterwards. Hi. Right. Got that awful platforming bit done, so another go at this. But I say, even with the slowdown, it is so easy to get screwed over on this phase, because, as I say, these orbs, if they just happen to spawn in, and they do spawn in, as you see from the ceiling and the floor, if they just so happen to spawn in at the worst possible time, or leave me with no room, or leave me where I feel like with no room to go, then yeah, that can still be a problem. Oh, that was annoying. I'm not sure whether I actually did really much wrong there, or whether I just so happened to get, or whether I just got a particularly nasty pattern. I'm not sure. I mean, it felt like it's nasty. I feel like, was that the first time I've actually died to that attack? I'm not sure. I don't know whether that actually is the case. I mean, if it is, that would suggest, again, with the slowdown helping me, that I didn't get a very nice pattern there. Yeah, I felt as though I was cornered there. It didn't matter what I did, even with the double jump to reset myself. It just felt like that one, there was just, yeah, very little I could actually do to avoid getting careering into an orb. Okay, got another go at it fairly quickly. Surprised I did this again. Yeah, so quickly after the last attempt. Yeah, look, just from up from the floor and the ceiling. If it just so happens to spawn in at the worst possible point in time, then yeah, you've got very little time to react to it, slow down or not. I don't like that. Bloody hell. Oh, there's another one. Yeah. Yeah, there seems to be between 2 and 4 of those last little gaps in the spike shifter fight. I wouldn't swear by that, but it seems to be 2 to 4. Are you absolutely kidding me? I don't know what to say. There's no excuse for that at all. How can I be that nervous and that clumsy on that section? That's just so stupid. I swear to God, I honestly believe, other than the first one, that is the second easiest platforming one of the lot. Absolutely. It's using a gimmick and a mechanic with double jump refreshers and things like that I'm very familiar with, very used to, that I kind of like actually as well. There's just no excuse for the absolute abject failure on that part. 2 of the 3 failures have been because I couldn't even make like the first jump. I mean, seriously, they're so bad. Okay. Again, another go at least at Demon Lord Biff fourth section. Oh God. Again, something else with this is that I'm not especially good at being able to predict where the apparent safe spots are going to be. So, yeah, I probably did something wrong there. I probably could have quote unquote easily avoided that orb by doing something else, but that looked like it was going to be a safe spot. I tried to reset myself with a double jump to not run into that, but couldn't do it. Again, whatever I tried to do there, or whatever little adjustment I tried to make there, it felt like I just could not avoid that orb. Oh, this flipping second save on the boss. Thank you, Rock. Although again, I have no consistency on this phase whatsoever. It's obviously not the same every time because the rocks are going to fall differently, but the slashes are the same each time. The lava goes up and down at the same time. I don't know why. I mean, if I get hit to a stray bit of shrapnel from the rock, fine. But I shouldn't be in a position where, I mean, stuff like that. I shouldn't be in a position where I'm getting squished by the rock. I should come up with a strategy that takes me miles away from where the rock's going to be, so it's got no chance whatsoever of squishing me. But, like, yeah, for example there, if the shrapnel there had come out at a really annoying pattern, then okay, fine. Just have to chalk that up to bad luck. But, yeah, if I'm getting squished by the rock, I'm clearly just not doing something right. Oi. Phew. Can I just say also that I really don't like that last jump where you obviously have to double jump after a long fall over that spike. I really don't like that at all. And I'm clearly going to jinx myself now, but that's actually been going, that last manoeuvre has actually been going pretty well. By the way, the spikes here, if you couldn't tell as well, do alternate in their positions, so you can't just. I'm going to die here. Oh my god. You can't just. Yeah. So where the spikes would be on the. Oh, please go away. Thank you. So where they appear on the ceiling, they appear in the opposite places on the floor, and vice versa. God, I nearly went the wrong way there. Bloody hell. Right. If I don't do this, I'll cut to the successful run. Because I've said enough. All that I can do on this on this bit at the moment. Yes. Okay. Good. And we'll stop the video there anyway. As I said, once I got past like that first little bit. It's just double jump refreshers. Yes, you could mess up. You'd be careful not to mess up on the ceiling. So I guess I'll just die here. So yeah, we're gonna end there. I mean, going almost bang on 40 minutes, which is which is absolutely fine from that perspective. but I don't have to cut that, yay. But honest to God, that once I got past like maybe the first few jumps on that platforming section, it's just double jump refreshers. It's not tricky really at all. Yes, you've got to be careful at the top bit there with the ceiling. Obviously, just make sure you don't bonk your head and actually collect the refreshers. You also have to be very careful of that last spike just before you collect the icon. It is very easy potentially to double jump too early when moving over to the left and hit the spike that's hanging down from the ceiling. Thank God that didn't actually happen, because I just would have screamed. Yeah, no, honestly, that platforming section is, at the end of the day, it probably still only was 3 failures, wasn't it? Because I didn't exactly get up to it very much. But yeah, three failures on that platforming section is 3 too many, frankly. Because there's nothing difficult about it. But anyway, it's done. We got through the first 2 phases, and yeah, with I say, given the length of this video, it's probably a good place to cut. Also, a good place to pause. And yeah, we'll pick up the remainder of the final boss. Not saying that I'm necessarily going to beat the entirety of the thing next video. We'll obviously see how it pans out. But yeah, I genuinely believe I've got the hardest bit out of the way now. That's that second phase. So yay! I'll leave it there, and we'll pick up with the final boss again next time. Until then, cheerio.